Hey Arul, Six Sigma used to be like everybody was doing Six Sigma.
It used
Today
to be a
it's-
fad, yeah.
Yeah, it was a major fad, right? I mean, GE and Motorola and all these guys, right? And today it's not so big, but there is still a lot of fans out there for Six Sigma, and a lot of folks get excited, when we talk about Six Sigma. Talk us through this Six Sigma journey, and maybe is it something that companies should be re-looking at today and thinking for their organization? Driving Six Sigma, or that whole rigor of quality in organizations.
Yeah. Actually, if you think about it, and if you do a search, the demand for Six Sigma or even Lean Six Sigma is still huge, right? But it has all matured and has been embedded into an organizational strategy, and it's always linked to operational excellence, right? And why it's become that way is it's thanks to your old CEO, which is Jack Welch, right, from GE. Okay, because he made it at that time. He's the one that made Six Sigma sexy, yeah. Because Motorola invented it back in the 80s. Okay, when they invented it, everything and anything had to be Six Sigma. So it was, it was dead by analysis. Everything. So the purpose of Six Sigma, which was to solve customers' problems, became like that is the way to get things done. But it was not the right way, right? But then it was made popular, and Jack Welch apparently learned it from HP, and then made it into part of his strategy of transforming GE to become number one or number two in the world.
So it's really an embedded business process, to some extent. The concepts, essentially of the how do you the DMAIC process, I guess, the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control to some extent. So it's there. Almost every business use it.
Correct, because it has to be part of the way. It has to be the way you work, and it has to be part of the culture, right? So if it's not part of the strategy, then if you want to do cultural change or transformation, right? Because that starts with process, right? And Six Sigma helps for you to define and improve the process within an organization with the view of doing what the customer wants. But then you don't overkill it. You make things simple, you make it easy, so that you keep meeting the customer's requirement, you achieve it or you exceed it, you over
So walk us through this define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, the 5 stages of Six Sigma, right?
Yeah, so within Six Sigma, when Motorola developed it, they looked at it as a problem-solving methodology, and they developed this DMAIC method as the problem-solving method. Okay, because every problem, what you need to do is first you define what the problem is. You don't jump into solution, don't jump into root causes. You say, okay, what is the problem, and how does that relate to what the customer wants?
Yes.
Right. So that is the problem. Then you go out and measure, get the baseline, right? Clarify that is a real problem and it's big and it's impacting the customer. Because sometimes it's perception, right? And if you measure, you get the facts, you get the data, and then you realize that
you find it's another problem.
It's another problem.
You're solving the wrong problem. Okay.
Right. So that's where you measure. Then when you analyze, then you can use either the statistical approach or the logical approach. You map the process and you try to find out what are the real root causes.
Right.
Because your root causes will be backed with data.
So you take this process, the 3 things: define, measure, analyze, before you even start solving the
Correct.
problem.
Yeah. Right? Most of us
try jump straight into the problem.
Straight away, problem,
solution. Right?
Solution. Right.
So first you define it, you measure it, and then you analyze it. Find the root cause.
Because
then you solve that root cause.
You find the critical few, because every problem will have trivial many issues, and we have a discussion because of this, because of that. I call it's trivial many. But if you go through the define, measure, analyze, you're translating from trivial many to critical few.
Correct.
Right? What you need is to identify the critical few, because that is your biggest bang for the buck. You address the small things, right? That gives you the biggest return in terms of solution. Then you improve, which is the 4th step, right? And once you've tested and it improves and you proved it that it's working, then control, you sustain it. You put in the SOPs, So what you have used in measurements and what you've used in root cause analysis can then be standardized as part of the process, and then it's fully implemented, and then it's sustained. So GE did that very well. I think they reported.
Unfortunately for GE, they kind of stopped let go their pedal a little bit, I think, in the last 10 years or so.
But now they are pushing it really, really hard, because they're bringing back that culture. If you looked at
with the new guy,
because the current clients that I work with, one of them is Baker Hughes GE. They are full on going lean. and Six Sigma. They're just pushing it back, even the healthcare guys as well. So,
Okay. So hopefully we'll see a resurrected GE in a couple of years.
yeah. Thanks.
Very good, Arul. Thanks.
Cheers.